Do you ever feel like you've left your brain behind? I genuinely believe that the vast majority of guys who are watching this video can identify with what I'm saying about leaving your brain at home or being a brain donor in Thailand. Because she picked the hotel, she's obviously in cahoots with the owners, or if she worked for them, I don't know. But there's a bottle of champagne, big bottle of champagne on ice, on an ice bucket. And I'm in Northside Dublin, and I just looked at the bottle of champagne and said, this is beyond me. I mean, it's beyond my reach. 10,000 baht. 10,000 baht for that night. Hi guys, welcome back. This is Alpha Omega occasionally. Did you forget your brain when you came to Thailand? Because I think I did. And as a matter of fact, I know I did. Anyway, look, we're going to cover a lot in this video. And a lot of it may pertain to you. I hope I'm using that word correctly. Apparently, there's lots of words I don't use correctly, like Huigwang and Patunam and Pontutini and Rashadafasik and all of that baloney, because the grammar police, and I respect each and every one of you, have corrected me more than once. But I'm going to defend myself in this video. And this is not just about bad pronunciation. This is about bad planning, stupidity, and leaving your brain behind. I've been told to move the car, so that's what I'm going to do. Do I have the keys? I do. Have to put the car under the cover, you see, because the Thais don't like the sun. When you're driving the car, it's in the sun, so what's the bloody difference? Oh, God. Had to adjust the seat because I'm not 4'2". God damn. Here we go. What the fuck are we starting? Wash the window because she just moves the dirt around. Fucking hell. Okay, here we go. Into the shade you go, into the shade. You won't find me in the shade. I hope that is to her satisfaction. I hate these key fobs because you can start your car with the key fob, as we've often done. I've dropped her into work, for example, with this car, and she puts the key in her handbag and I drive off. And I only realise I haven't got the key when I turn off the engine, and she has the key fob in her handbag 7 kilometers away. Yes, Harry. Yes, it is. Harry has a new watch, but it's his first real watch, and he keeps asking me. He's confirming the time all the time. Anyway, leaving your brain behind. Yes, I came here on a fine day in February 2013. I had my rucksack. I think that's all I had, actually, a big rucksack, yes. I had my documents, i.e. my passport. I didn't forget that. I didn't forget my phone, although it was fairly useless here because it was on an Irish SIM. There's lots of things I didn't forget. But what I did forget was my reason, my sense of reason, my rationale. And I forgot my life experiences, because when I came here, it was like a blank sheet of paper and there were no holes barred for stupidity to take control. Yes, I came here all that time, long time ago, but I didn't move to Pattaya, and I didn't move to Phuket. I didn't even move to Bangkok. I landed in Bangkok and I stayed in Bangkok for a week or two until I found myself, let's say, occupied in a place called Ben Lam Shabang. And I hear you say, what? And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong as well. Ben Lam Shabang. That's how I pronounce it. And I pronounce this Pontutini. And I pronounce Huigwang, Huigwang. And I pronounce Patunam, Patunam. But I've been reliably informed that I should pronounce it Pratunam. But who cares? Because the people who are, and thank you so much. I mean that, thank you so much. It's a bit of fun, lads. But listen to this. I don't correct British people or American people for saying Porsche. It's not Porsche, it's Porsche. I don't correct British people for saying Peugeot. It's not Peugeot, it's Peugeot. I mean, come on. And It's not Deirdre, it's Deirdre. It's an Irish name. It's Deirdre, not Deirdre. I don't correct people for their mispronunciation. Why does everyone correct me? Well, maybe it's because I put myself out there. And that is what I did when I came to Thailand. I put myself out there, out in the wilderness, out in the unknown, uncharted territory, to act the fool and to be looked upon as a fool. Because that's what you do and that's how you behave when you leave your brain behind. I remember times when I lived in Bankrolling, before I won't say before I met my wife, I had met her, but we weren't together by any means. I was single. And I remember going to Pattaya on a Friday night, because it's only about 20 kilometres from Bankrolling. I got a tuk-tuk. I didn't get a tuk, I got a bus. I got a bus down. Not a bus, a bus. I got a bus down. And I went to some bar and there was this girl and she fleeced me. She absolutely fleeced me. I ended up in a hotel room and there was a bottle of champagne in the room because she picked the hotel. She's obviously in cahoots with the owners, or if she worked for them, I don't know. But there's a bottle of champagne, big bottle of champagne on ice, on an ice bucket. And I'm in Northside Dublin, and I just looked at the bottle of champagne and said, this is beyond me. I mean, it's beyond my reach. 10,000 baht. 10,000 baht for that night. And I won't go into all the details, but that's what it cost me that night. And I know that I complain now about spending 3,000 baht on a night out and or whatever it may be, but 10,000 baht. Fellas tell me, and I've read it in the comments, that they'd spend 10,000 baht in a night. And if you can afford to do that, fair play to you. At the time, I could afford to do it. But now, spending 10,000 baht in a night, yes, that's way beyond me. But you see, I left my brain behind. You just throw caution to the wind. That's what you do. You throw absolute and utter caution to the wind. You go and you do your thing. Even up here, I think I've left my brain behind. This is idyllic. This is peaceful. But what am I going to do when I retire up? Well, she retires up here every bloody day. Do you know, by the end of this year, she'll have retired. That's the missus. And shortly after that, a lot depends on Harry's schooling, we'll be living up here full time. And we'll be away from the hustle and bustle and the bars and all the activity and all the rest of it, of the metropolis of Bangkok, or the metropolis of Pattaya, if you want to call it that. And I'll be up here leading the simple, easy life. And I might then get back in touch with reality. Do you ever feel like you've left your brain behind? Do you ever feel totally stupid? I feel at this stage of my life, I really do, that if I had never come to Thailand, I'd probably be better off in my life now than I am now. Because I've little or no control over my status here. It wears you down. It wears you down. It has, and it is wearing me down. The consistent, and I get badgered by her, the consistent preparation, when I say preparation, the consistent expectation or dread of your visa extension or your 90-day this, that and the other. I read, or I saw on another YouTube channel, very reputable YouTube channel, about a guy who went for his 90-day report and he had his yellow book, and the yellow book didn't even suffice because he had to get a photocopy of his neighbour's ID, and the neighbour had to sign it, and the neighbour had to confirm that he was in residence wherever he was in residence. Jesus Christ almighty. It's just more and more. That's, by the way, you can check it out yourself. I saw that on Integrity Legal. Integrity Legal, that's even hard for me to say. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong as well. There you go. I've no time today, a very little time at all these days, between doing my online activities and doing what I'm told by herself. Honest to God, this is what you don't see a lot of YouTubers doing. The ones who leave their brains behind. And by the way, I'm not excluding myself from that group, but doing this on a Sunday morning after a feed of sauce the night before, I definitely feel like I've left my brain behind me. So I swear to God, I was absolutely out of my bin. That's what we say in Ireland. Out of your bin, out of your box, out of your face. There's a million ways you can say you're drunk in Ireland. A million, I'm not joking. Hanging the clothes, and she says it, you know, she says it in such an annoying way. Her English is limited. And she goes, hang, 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 hang. Jesus. Well, some people claim, or some people pursue the idea that I mispronounce my words in Thai. But see, that's it. I mentioned about the Brits and the Americans earlier on. We all pronounce words the way we pronounce them, and we all mispronounce words. The Thais can't pronounce central, they say centra. Or centan, centan. Why doesn't someone go after them? I swear to God, I'm killing two birds with the one stone doing this. And it's always the case when you're doing this, the fiddly bits fall onto the ground. And that's another thing. British people say floor when they mean the ground. The floor is on the inside. The ground is on the outside. In my language, it's urlor is the floor and tolav is the ground. We make that distinction. And in the English language, there is that distinction. But British English speakers seem to forget the fact that there's a separate noun for the exterior terrain, and they call it the floor. Well, how do you distinguish between the floor and the floor? I don't get on to people about that. Well, I am now, but that's only because people are getting on to me. I wonder, oh my God, if you think that I have definitely left my brain behind because I'm going on like this. There's a plane flying overhead. It looks like Air Asia flying into Dongmung. Probably coming from Chiang Mai or somewhere like that. Anyway, I bet you never thought that taking in the washing would be so interesting. Oh dear God, she's shouting at me. Hang, 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 hang. Oh. One of the reasons I don't pronounce Thai correctly is because you have to screw up your face to do it. And you look stupid. Like if I say, my ow, that's in my best Dublin accent. My ow. Na crap. Huh? I will her. He wants me to push him in the hammock. But that's mispronunciation, you see. You see, that's mispronunciation. But if I say it the correct way, my ow, I screw up my face, I look bloody stupid, and I'm not going to do that. So for me, it's wig wang, and it's patunam, and it's... Yes, Harry's correcting me now even. Oh God, let me finish this. I feel because I do YouTube, I've left my brain behind, because it's a brainless activity really, isn't it? You'll be amazed what you can fit into a pillowcase. You could almost say that the very act of getting married indicates that you've left your brain behind.
Never get married, it's the wrong decision, everyone.
There you go, that comes from Harry, there you are. He knows it. The fella went to the doctor and he wasn't feeling well. And
He got married.
Yeah, because he got married, you see, there you are. And the doctor examines him and he says, I've some bad news for you. And he says, you've only got 24 hours to live. And the guy goes, oh my God, 24 hours? He said, yep. And the doctor said, you seem to be taking this fairly well. What would you like to do with your last 24 hours? And the guy thought for a second and he said, I'd like to spend my last 24 hours with my wife. And the doctor said, wow.
Decision here for me.
Doctor said, wow, why? And the guy said, because 24 hours with my wife is like an eternity.
Because the wife always shops a lot,
Yeah, women shop a lot, Harry. That's true, Harry. I mean, Harry knows. I mean, he knows the stuff, you know.
knows a lot of stuff.
For a kid, he knows a lot of stuff. So, Harry, do you think if a fella gets married, he leaves his brain behind?
Oh no, yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
there you are.
Or like if you get married, you lose your brain.
Yeah, well, there you are.
You only think of her.
That's it.
You never think about your money and your job.
You never think about your money. He's dead right there. You never think about your money because she thinks about it for you.
And that's what happens.
Your money ceases to become your own concern when you get married. And you might say, I left my brain at home. Because why do we put ourselves in this position where we gladly and willingly relinquish our command of our finances? Maybe you're one of the lucky ones. Yeah, maybe you are one of the lucky ones where you have so much of the green stuff that you're in complete control and she only has a glimpsing knowledge every now and again of your finances in terms of what you give her as an allowance. Maybe that's the case, but you guys are very few and far between. If you're anything like me, she has my finances, she thinks, are completely transparent, but they're not, because I didn't leave all my brain at home. There is a waterway that has just sprung up in front of me here. It's amazing. I'll show you this. There. Bangkok was known as the Venice of the East. I just thought I'd show you that. But anyway, she doesn't have complete and utter command over all my finances. But she does. Put it this way, she knows more about what I earn than I know about what she earns. In fact, I don't really know what she earns. But she has a very good idea what I earn, but I don't tell her everything. So here's the water feature that has sprung up behind me. And while I'm talking, you can entertain yourself by watching how the traffic negotiates, especially the motorcycles negotiate this wonderful, murky, black, smelly water feature. And that's what happens in Bangkok when it rains. Anyway, it could be a very rainy day if you forget your brain. Because if you forget your brain, your missus will have total control over your finances. And so many guys that come to Thailand personify what I'm talking about because they bankroll. Here are these two young ones now going through the puddle. There we go. Do you know you can get into big trouble in Bangkok for splashing someone with your motorised vehicle, splashing a pedestrian? It's some crazy amount of money apparently. But I wouldn't push it. But anyway, how many of yous bankroll your girlfriend or your wife? I don't. But having said that, I'm holding the mic because I'm close to the traffic. But having said that, I don't support her financially. She doesn't support me, although some people think that. My wife doesn't support me financially. But many guys do support their girlfriends and wives financially. And I don't know, love is blind. And it's also brainless. By the way, speaking of finance, thank you to everybody who's helped me out on Buy Me a Coffee. There's a list. There you are, lads. There's your names. There's a list of some of the guys who have just done that since and just prior to our last video. If you want to do the same, you can just scan the QR code or click the link below. I guarantee you this much. She won't see a penny of it. There you are. Anyway, we could sum up this video, or we could change the title of the video by calling it Brain Donors in Thailand. In fact, that might happen. You'll know before I do, because by the time you watch this video, you know if the title is Leaving Your Brain at Home or Being a Brain Donor in Thailand. I'm sure the Thais laugh at us. They call us buffalo for a reason, because we behave stupidly when it comes to this. Because when it comes to this, we can get what we want, or we get what we think. Well, we get what we want, but not what you need, because you don't need the hassle. You don't need the hassle of spending money and realise you spent all your money and you become a bloody brain donor. I really feel, I genuinely believe that the vast majority of guys who are watching this video can identify with what I'm saying about leaving your brain at home or being a brain donor in Thailand. Like, how many times have you felt like that? So let me know in the comment section where your brain is. I know where my brain goes when I get drunk. And I'm telling you something now. I said I was on the sauce last night, and I was. I have no intention, absolutely no desire to have any kind of alcoholic beverage for at least 2 or 3 days, and I hope to extend it for the week, because that's what I did last week. Last night was Saturday night. I had a fair amount of a bottle of Tanqueray gin, but that was the first time I drank in 6 days, and I hope to do that again this week, because I want to preserve my brain. There you are. So what do you think? Are you a brain donor? Did you leave your brain behind? So what do you think? Are you a brain donor, or did you leave your brain behind? There are guys, at the time I'm making this video, or finishing up this video, at 4:49 p.m. on a Sunday, a very clammy, humid, damp Sunday in Bangkok. There's guys about 7 kilometers from where I am now in Sukhumvit, and they've left their brains at home because they're in there and they're spending money, like crazy money, and they're going to do something stupid tonight, and they're going to say to themselves when they wake up tomorrow morning, Jesus, I left my brain at home. Here. So I'm going to call it a day. So I think that's a good point to wrap it up. If you haven't done so already, leave a comment and click the like button, because it does help the video tremendously. I was going to say trenormously. You see, I might have left my brain at home. But whatever you do, lads, if you haven't done so already, click the like button, the share button, subscribe button. Do all those wonderful things. And I'll see you back here again for another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.